Hello, I'm Randy Shea, and I've been promising my friends on Facebook for a while that I'd let them in on the story about the graphic that I came up with. It's not a blob of flesh, it's a baby on life support. And before I go any further, I want to just say I didn't come up with the slogan. I want to give credit where credit is due. A couple of years ago, I went to a Sanctity of Life celebration locally, and I was pro-life, but I was pretty complacent about it, and just like, okay, I'm pro-life, just sort of like a label. But I really didn't do anything. A friend of mine invited me along. I went. There weren't a lot of people there, but there were these people up there that they showed pictures of tape on their mouth with life on it, and that had an impact on me. I wanted to hear what that was all about. The Bound for Life people, and it was really cool to hear what they were doing. And I just remember, years ago, just seeing stories about guys shooting an abortion doctor, and just a lot of angry people, and I really actually was kind of turned off by the pro-life movement at the time, back when I was in college and stuff. In fact, I was pro-choice at the time because I had the wrong understanding. I kind of was very philosophical and analytical. I kind of put away my biblical teaching, although God still had a hold of me. I just was not quite clear on things. I think that's the way most Americans are these days on this issue. So maybe that's why God chose me. But this is how it happened. I was there. I was asking God because my relationship with God has gotten a lot better in the last few years. I really went after it, not because I had to, because I wanted to, and it really brought life back into my life when I got Jesus back center in my life. For a while I was complacent and compromising, and it wasn't the case. But anyway, so I got more of a testimony on that. But the thing was, I was there at this Sanctity of Life celebration, praying to God, watching these guys do the presentation, and I was like, God, is this something you want me to get involved in? Because I had already said I would do whatever He wanted. I was already working on another project, Miracle Watchers International. Wanted to report on real miracles that are going on. God is still doing miracles. There are also a lot of false prophets supposed to be in the end times that will do a lot of great signs and wonders. So you got to be careful. And I thought I was probably the perfect person to be working on a project like that. But we were just getting that off the ground. I'm here at the Sanctity of Life celebration, and I'm praying to God, and it wasn't a voice like audible, loud, like thunderous. It wasn't my own thought. It wasn't my own voice. It was another voice that came in after I asked, is this what you want me to do? And I just heard, it's not a blob of flesh, it's a baby on life support. Just like a still, quiet voice. I think some people have experienced God in that way. And, still I was thinking maybe that was just my thought or whatever. That's, it's a good slogan, it's catchy. I went on to continue to watch the presentation, and I'm thinking, well, if that was really you, God, you got to let me know. And before I even got to the point where I finished my thought in my prayer, it broke in exactly the same. It's not a blob of flesh, it's a baby on life support. So I was like, whoa, okay. So I stopped, and I wrote it down, and I sketched out, like a baby in the womb. It's something else we didn't used to have, pictures of babies in the womb and ultrasounds and all that. Back in the 80s when I was in college, it would have been a lot more clear at the time had I been able to see those. And but what I was convinced of back in college, and what made me pro-choice, was I analyzed it in a very analytical way, that if it is just a blob of flesh, it's not really a baby, then it is a woman's body and it's her right to choose. It seemed pretty straightforward. What I thought was just a biblical argument also turned out later, now that I've done my research, it's not just a biblical argument. Overwhelming majority of doctors and scientists have agreed for a long time that a uniquely developing human life begins at the point of conception. And there's even been testimony in front of Senate and Congress, and I mean, this is well established fact. I got blindsided though into the emotions of it all and didn't really look into the facts. I guess it might have been part of the plan. I've learned about the eugenics movement, which is a whole other study. But there's something about killing babies, killing our own babies. It's just not right. Your conscience can tell you that. So, for those that are maybe pro-choice or hating me for doing this, just keep in mind that pro-lifers have come to the understanding that it is a baby, and men in particular, we're supposed to. Our historic role has always been defending women and children, and so when pro-lifers get really angry, not to say it's right, murderous anger is definitely wrong, but righteous anger is okay. The thing is that if you believed, maybe you don't believe that it's a baby on life support like I do. It's and I don't want to just say a woman is just a life support system. That's all she is. But from the standpoint of it being a baby, it's killing a baby. I mean, so getting angry about that kind of makes sense. So anyway, getting into it's not a blob of flesh, it's a baby on life support. I then went from there, and I felt, well, if this is a message from God, He wants me to use my skills and abilities. I'm good at sales and marketing, and I was building websites, and I said, okay, well, I'll try to integrate it in something that I'm doing already, and I don't have no idea how I'm going to get this out, maybe billboards or something. I'm going to have to get some financial support. How do I build this up? What I found out is the pro-life movement as a whole is underfunded and understaffed. There's really no glory in it. I mean, it's not like going to a third day concert or the musicians and stuff. It's not from a Christian walk sense. It's not the walk that any Christian would choose to be in that necessarily. It's a very difficult mission field. To have to deal with the anger and the emotions that go along with the idea that it is a baby that's being killed. There's 3,000 a day happening on average in the United States alone. Well, all right. So I started up this group. I was actually helping somebody out with another project. They told me about Facebook, and I started up this group. It's not a blob of flesh. It's a baby on life support. I'm sure that I violated Facebook's terms many times over because I wanted to get this message out, and I was spamming. I guess that's what it was. It wasn't meaning to cause any trouble. Most people liked what I was doing, but then some people didn't, and I got reported for abuse, and I lost my account, etc. But I built up the group, and the group continued on, and from there though, that one first group, it's not a blob of flesh, it's a baby on life support. I was able to then help others spawn groups, myself included. The next one I started was Pro-Life Groups United, because what I noticed is I was doing searches, there was a lot of little startup groups. There wasn't anything big, and anything big seemed to be more pro-choice than it was pro-life. A lot of the Christian groups were more, people, I guess you call them trolls or other, just with free speech or whatever, how you want to use it. They're totally just monopolizing these groups to where they weren't even effective. I mean,